sitting day. I call on government orders of the day number 2 to 4.
Drug and Alcohol Testing of Community-Based Offenders, Bailees and Other Persons Legislation Bill, Committee Stage. Civil Defence Emergency Management Amendment Bill, Committee Stage. Patents, Trans-Tasman Patent Attorneys and Other Matters Amendment Bill, Committee Stage.
I declare the House in committee for consideration of the Drug and Alcohol Testing of Community-Based Offenders, Bailees and Other Persons Legislation Bill, the Civil Defence Emergency Management Amendment Bill, and the Patents, Trans-Tasman Patent Attorneys and Other Matters Amendment Bill. Mr. Chair.
Mr. Speaker. Members, the House and Committee for consideration of the Drug and Alcohol Testing of Community-Based Offenders, Bailees and Other Persons Legislation Bill, the Civil Defence Emergency Management Amendment Bill and the Patents, Trans-Tasman Patent Attorneys and Other Matters Amendment Bill.
Point of order.
Yes, sir.
I seek leave for this bill to be debated as one question but voted on separately. Leave has been sought for all provisions to be taken as one question. Is there any objection? Yes. Okay, so there is objection. So members, we first turn to the Drug and Alcohol Testing of Community-Based Offenders, Bailees and Other Persons Legislation Bill, and the question is at Part 1, Stand Part. This is debate on clauses 3 till 11A and Schedule 1. Penny Hanare, Tanakwe.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Chair. Thank you for this opportunity. Sir, from the outset, Labour supports this bill. Drug and alcohol misuse is a major driver of crime, and recently, sir, as a preface to a broader contribution from myself on this particular part, sir, the drug issue that's currently happening in Te Tai Tokelau, I want to lament the loss of my nephew Moses Mahanga involved in that particular incident, and of course my cousin Mr. John Harris, buried recently. We know that the driver of this particular issue is drugs. So this party supports any bill that will see drug and alcohol misuse as a major driver of crime addressed. We want to make sure, sir, that when people are put under supervision, that the means and the legislation is in line to ensure that we keep them safe from themselves, but more importantly, our community. Sir, Part 1, Section 4, Part 1, Clause 4, it refers there to some very simple matters, and I think they're quite straightforward in the inclusion, of the use of a psychoactive substance, and it falls in line with the psychoactive substance bill passed in this House, if memory serves me right, in approximately 2013, if memory serves me right, sir. And I did actually have to go on and have a bit of a look at exactly what some of the psychoactive substances were. I wasn't too sure myself, but I went in and had a look, and it's clear that there is an issue there. But I wonder, just out of curiosity, and I'm sorry I didn't sit in on the Select Committee, I wonder, for a lot of those drugs that are included in the Psychoactive Substance Act, it's often said that they're undetectable. They're hard to detect in the system. They're hard for the immediate senses to detect, and I just wonder what kind of issue that may bring for those officers or those with the powers to enforce testing on this particular with this particular bill, sir. And it's just out of curiosity more than anything. So it clearly says there a pretty straightforward change in that particular clause, removing either or both, to now saying doing one or more of the following, and that once again is the use of a psychoactive substance, sir. Drug or alcohol monitoring device, it's quite clear there. A device connected to a person's body that is able to detect the presence in the person's body of one or more of the following. That gets to my point, sir, about some of those questions. A quick Google search will tell you how, to the untrained eye, to the naked eye, to make an assessment straight off the bat, it's often difficult for law enforcement officers, for those with that responsibility, to instantly see that that person is under the influence of a psychoactive substance. And I wonder what that technology looks like, what that device might look like that will actually allow for that proper testing to take place and to make sure that we aren't impinging on people's rights. Sir, it carries on talking about the medical laboratory technologist. It's quite straightforward. Those with those particular skills, and I've mentioned how it is when you first interact with the person under supervision. Clearly it sets out the terms in here, sir, about those professions who are more qualified, who with the right tools and with the right practice can actually assess more properly whether or not the individual is under the influence, sir. Moving on, sir, some of the other changes in Part 1 of this particular bill. Clause 8 inserts sections on the testing and monitoring of people with drug or alcohol conditions, sir. We know when members are put back into the community under supervision, sir, it's important that we make sure that their rights, first of all, aren't impinged on, but more importantly, that those particular people abide by the supervision rules that have been placed upon them, that they're clean.
I'm going to call